for me, the success markers have been about my personal development, how at peace I feel, how in flow or aligned I feel. My success is benchmarked around my state of mind and my state of peace.
I just wanted to, because I was thinking about this last night, and the last minute questions I think are sometimes the best.
The best, yes. Where do you get yours? I get mine in the shower.
In the shower?
Yeah.
Mine's in my bed when I'm just about to fall asleep. It's the thought that wakes me up.
Oh, otherwise I don't sleep though.
Because you're like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, what's the worst interview question that people can ask?
To ask about specific things like what was your best interview? Because I've done so many, then I start to run through my mind's file, and because you're being asked that, you can never come up with anything, you know. So after a while, I started kind of having, I'd say, my top 3, just so that that question stops being such a panic moment. And also, I hate the question about how do you balance it all. That one for women particularly, because men don't get that question about, you know, because we're expected to be super women, we're expected to be strong. There was another radio station that had a promo because it's Women's Month saying, to all the strong women, to all the women who've stood up against whatever. And I'm like, I am sick and tired of that narrative. I just want to be. I just want to be
regular. What about
woman.
me and my slops? Do
Yeah,
I not
yeah.
count when I'm in my
exactly.
slops? Yeah, no, I completely
So I hate that one about how do you juggle it all, how do you balance it all, and all of that. It's like, okay.
And one of the things I find really interesting, because you mentioned, you know, a connection with the creator, but also moving into that consciousness, mindfulness, therapy space, is I find like one of the things I really struggle with is feeling that spirituality that's linked to like a religion or God, but also learning all of these new channels that are not necessarily from the places that I learned. So how do you kind of marry a kind of traditional connection to a God with all of these new meditative practices?
Just all have different channels of reaching or accessing that higher power. I lean on traditional South African traditional values and practices. I also lean on Asian practices. So whatever allows me to feel that heightened sense or that connected sense. Not all things will work for me, or not all things will work for you, but I'm curating it in such a way that I bring things into my life that work. For instance, I don't like running, I don't like cycling. I enjoy yoga because yoga also speaks to the meditations, it speaks to being present within your body. So it works and it resonates with me. So yeah, you won't find me there lifting weights.
No, we're in the same boat. Yoga lattes at a stretch. Yeah,
exactly.
And I suppose, I mean, the other thing that I was thinking about a lot is obviously when you land a spot like Real Talk and everybody's kind of got this buzz around you, a lot of people are writing about or talking about your success, and this is Azania and this is how she's done all of these things. But how do you understand your success? When you think about, okay, this is me, these are my goals, this is what my plan was, and you articulate it back to yourself, what are the kinds of things that you think?
That's the thing. I think the assumption, or maybe if you asked me 10, 15 years ago, say 10, I would have given you a different answer. But I'm in a completely different headspace about that, because I think I've been so favored and so blessed over the years that I've had the sustainable career that's allowed me to have security, be able to provide for my children. I think over the years, with making all of these other things happen, there are a lot of things that I've neglected or that I haven't focused on, and they're coming to the fore in such a forceful way. So I'm seeing a consciousness, mindfulness clinical psychologist / coach, Dr. Ella Manga. She's fantastic. So doing breath work. I was sitting here while getting my makeup done, meditating, listening to a meditation guidance session. So I'm trying to do a lot more of that because I feel much calmer. Everything's been manic. A lot of things have been manic for so long. I've been adulting and raising children and growing a career. Lately, it's been also building a business. So things can get very, very manic. And then you realize that I actually don't feel great. I actually don't feel great. What is it for? Yeah. So took a step back and kind of started focusing on those things.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, Oprah was inspired by Gary Zukav, who famously wrote The Seed of the Soul, which is one of my favorite books. And the book is called What I Know for Sure. And I thought, okay, who knows anything for sure? But at this point, sort of coming into that space of like manicness into calm, into your own sense of presence, what are the things you know for sure?
I know for sure that there is something greater out there. And it's like it's like that leap of faith. It's like this abstract thing. But it's almost like soul knowing or your body knowing, you know, so reaffirms, and it just keeps reaffirming it. So I know I'm at a point where I know that for sure.
And then, of course, because everything I think is kind of a team effort, and you inevitably will connect with other people. So in your industry, who is the person or who are the people that when you're kind of in that space of like, oh, the strategy is not working out, who do you call in the industry that you know this person can help guide me, support me, and be on my side?
I don't really have anyone for that. Whenever these decisions have to be made, I just try and be quiet. I remember when I could feel that it was time for me to leave Metro. I could feel it. You know, I was doing my show. We'd gotten into a great stride. I mean, we did this massive show, Total Bliss. It was huge, but I would go in, we'd mastered it. I could do it in my sleep. And I wasn't challenged anymore. And so I felt like, and even then I just thought, I want to be part of conversations that are driving dialogue in this country, conversations that are steering where we're going as a country. So, and I'm not able to do it here because it's about the goof life, yep, you know. And and it's like, it's great. It also has a place. It's fantastic. I've loved it. It's helped me get to where I am, but time has come. So that restlessness, couldn't deny it anymore. And then went and sought other opportunities, and it came through power. But then when I got there, so many things went against my values. There were things that were happening that went against my values. And in that time as well, I had to make a decision about what do I do? And then and you just think about it, you just try and listen, you just try and be at peace. And then an offer came along. And then even making the decision about that offer was just like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go then. And so I went.
And right now, in this moment of this new challenge, this new journey, if you could take one thing, like one feeling that you could have in this new journey, what do you want to feel? What do you want to feel every day?
You feel it here. You feel it here. Like, you know, I interview people as well when the question about that crossroad, or they were good at something else, but they're doing another thing altogether. I had plans of being like an economist, being Trevor Manuel's right-hand woman. You know what I mean? Like, there I am working in Treasury, managing budget, saying no to me, all these requests from SOEs, you name it. That was my plan. Like, I'm gonna be in there, be calm, let's go. And I didn't have that feeling. I'd leave like, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. And when it's constantly not it, then you become unhappy. You know.
Of course.
So that it thing needs to show up from frequently enough for you to be like, yes, okay, this is it.
And I deserve it. And I feel it.
Why don't we feel like we deserve things?
I don't know, but I think we should start turning that around now.
Yeah, like we think everything should be hard work, like a slog, like 16-hour, 18-hour days.
Yeah.
Like, really?
And it feels good to feel good.